and Cocktail Bar. Stores for breakfast at 159 High Street, Penge, SE27DS and 30. The Broadway Catford, SE6 4SN from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Sunday. A delicious array of American soul food, authentic Caribbean dishes, and scrumptious seafood, plus a selection of the tastiest cocktails. And there are live DJs on rotation at Fish Fridays and Seafood Saturdays. Table reservations and party bookings call 0208 675 2151 or go to thepostRestaurant.co.uk. This must be the place, the new Post Restaurant and Cocktail Bar.
Dixie, Doris, Dean Muslim or Delta, how are you today? Great. Time to get up. Just eat. For KFC, Greg's, McDonald's, with your favorite bargain bucket, steak bake, Big Mac, because whatever you want, you crazy cat, dog, moose, we deliver to your crib. Palace, Bunker. We got it.
Lunch al fresco under the palms. That's a hot stone massage, like that kind of thing. All the celebs go there. It's very exclusive.
I'm waiting. Pretty sure where his holidays. There's a deposit and good to go. Bring it on. What about your signature?
It's the catamaran cruise. I wanted to do that. British Airways ladies.
Want to advertise on Love the Beat Radio? Contact us on 07930820578. That's 07930820578. Or email us on info@lovedabeatradio.co.uk. That's info@lovedabeat radio.co.uk.
Slide. Too spicy. Oh,
Himalayan Hills.
if you do that, the food's going to arrive. The portions are going to be tiny. The kids are going to be like, and Sarah's going to be like, so everyone's going to be, so you're going to, then, so, right, I'm getting Domino's. Yeah.
With deals to suit every budget, Domino's. For a few years, I vow there'll be no new me, for I am just as super cute as Lashes. I will continue to love what I love, and to those who are super judgy, I'll be like, are you okay, hun? Next level basic, baby. I'm proud. And if you say I can't, I say literally, can't even. You do you. Diet Coke.
Hi, where's Psycho?
Hey, what's up? You're the kid 50 Cent.
What's up, y'all? It's Missy Misdemeanor Elliott here.
Yo, this is Chevy.
Hey, what's poppin'? It's your girl Cardi B.
What's going on, people? It's Spoonzy here.
Hi, I'm Springer. Hi, I'm Sully. Hi, I'm Anisha. And we're Misty.
Yo, it's Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Hi, this is Charlie XCX.
Yo, what it does? This your homie Rick Ross. What's going on, guys? This is Post Malone.
What's up? This is Dr. Dre.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Tiny Temper.
Yo, this is Busta Rhymes.
This is DJ LSD, and you're listening to Love the Beat Radio, best station in the world.
You're listening to Love the Beat Radio, the number one internet radio station.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Goddess Jazzy Show. Let me tell you something before I start. I'm so excited. I've got two wonderful people coming. They're going to be speaking, my two guests today, they're going to be speaking about the windrush scheme. One is heavily involved in it because he went through a lot. That's all I'm going to say. So they're on their way. So anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to this rainy Tuesday. What I want to do before my guests come in, I want to gloat about my Mother's Day. Yeah, I'm going to gloat about it. I had a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. We done karaoke Mother's Day. Yep. Your girl done karaoke Mother's Day. My son pulled it out the bag and my goddaughter. I'm so happy. We screamed out the highest of our voices. I can't sing to save my life, but you know what? It was so wonderful. Really a great experience. And even our last song, they kicked us out. But it was really good. Then after that, we went to Messy Church, it's called, where you make crafts, arts and crafts and stuff like that. Because I had my goddaughter's daughter, which I'm going to call her my grand goddaughter. Yeah, my grand goddaughter. It was help. She could make little bits of arts and crafts. So she made a wonderful Mother's Day card for her mum at church. We planted seeds. Sorry. When I was sitting down the majority of the time in the church, when my son came back to say he doesn't know what got over him, maybe the Holy Spirit got over him because his seed came out of his plant pot. I don't know how that works, but he said something came over him. Anyway, yeah, so we done that. We ate. So it was a lot of us there, mums, dads, children. It was such a nice experience. We all ate together. You know what I mean? It was lovely. I think, and we all got daffodils with messages on there for Mother's Day. So yeah. Thank you. And all those who sent me Mother's Day wishes, thank you so much. It was lovely, such a joy. Yes, so what else has been happening? Oh, God, a lot has been happening, I should say. Oh, let me do my shout outs. So let me shout out to my wonderful goddaughter. She won't be tuning in because she's heavily busy with her course, her university course. Tasia, I want to say Auntie loves you so much. Thank you so much for my Mother's Day. Soiree, I think they call it soiree. Shout out to my son, thank you so much for my Mother's Day presents and singing. I know I karaoke Mother's Day. I want to shout out to Irene, thank you so much as well, just for everything and everything really. I can't even pinpoint nothing, you know, just for everything. I want to shout you out. Shout out to my family, we're still grieving. I've got you in prayer, I've got you in mind, you know. I also want to shout out. I want to shout out also Dino, if you're listening, your sister from another mother. I love you. Look forward to seeing you real soon. Shout out to George. Hi George and the family. I hope you're all well and everything else like that. Oh dear, who else? Oh, everyone. Shout out to my brother from another mother, Jolly Des. He's on radio Irene, Northwest London. I want to shout him out as well. Shout out to Ray Barrett as well. Oh, we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow. Oh, shout out to him. I think that's all my shout outs. Let me play a song, because you know I like doing this. Let's play something a little bit, I was gonna say a little bit jazzy about that. Do you know what? Before I play a song, I was somewhere, I was in the library the other day. So my name, to get my copies, my photocopies, obviously I put Jazzy on there. The lady stopped me. She said, excuse me, that's such a beautiful name. Is that your real name? I told her, no, it's my nickname. But she said, it's so beautiful. I said, oh, thank you so much. Anyway, that was that. So here we go. Let's play a tune. I might be playing the same song I played last week because this song is popping and it's so nice that, you know, you have to play it more than twice, innit? So it is. Oh, this again is YG Marley, Praise Jar in the Moonlight. I just love it. I just love it so much. So this is Bob Marley's grandson and Lauryn Hill and Bob Marley's son's child. Okay, so here we go, and enjoy like I do. Love it. Welcome back to the Goddess Jazzy Show. That was YG Marley. Sorry. I'm sure his name is Zion. Oh, that's my first guess. 1 second. Right, okay, hold on. Let me just play another song. Let me just play this quickly. Here we go. Ooh. Morning, come in. Is it open? There's a little bit of stairs. Take your time. Take your time, there's a little bit of stairs. Take your time. Good morning. Oh, all right, how are you? You all right? Oh, how was the journey? You see? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you for coming, Tony. Oh, come on, everyone gets a hug. Doesn't matter. Come on. Thank you so much. Come in. Oh, dear. Doesn't matter. You can hang your things, put them there. When you're ready to come and sit over here, yeah? Take your time. Do you want a drink?
Huh?
Do you want something hot today? There's no clean cups here.
I got my own little bit of
You got your things, okay.
I got my own little bit of different.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Like that. Let me keep my phone on silent.
Yeah, you can still film if you want to as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can still.
What do I just put it on? Do not disturb?
If you've got calls coming, yeah. That would be good.
Okay.
So what did you bring? You said you got your own little thing. What have you brought?
Remy.
Something else. What?
Remy and tea. Remy and mint tea.
Together?
Yeah, that's all on with you, isn't it?
Oh my God.
On a cold morning, you need that to wake you up.
That is something else and another.
Yeah. And I'm allowed to give a shout out to my brethren.
Yeah, of course.
Parachute Regiment.
Of course.
Last time I saw him was Pengees.
Oh, right, of course.
So the other side of Pengees is a pub, right?
Oh, now you're asking, Tony. Now you're asking. I haven't got a clue.
No.
No. Lewisham. Yeah.
Oh.
Come and sit. Come on.
Wait, that's for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
From Age UK. They're the one that took me to the House of Commons. They did the House of Lords.
Oh, okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Tissue.
And the toilet's straight down when you want as well.
I just want my tissue. And we can give this a shout out on the radio.
Come and sit when you're done.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah, well, that's enough to do. Yeah. This. Because we're going to chat about the windrush as well.
Yep.
And
okay.
This one filling session.
Welcome back to the Goddess Jazzy Show. My guest Tony has just come in, so give him a few moments to just climatize and everything. So you'll be here in a moment. I'm going to play another song while we're waiting for him to settle in. Okay, let me just play Barrington Leave It, You're Too Experienced. Just enjoy this until Tony comes and sits with me. Here we go. I'm going to stop this. Welcome back to the Goddess Jazzy Show. I have my very special guest here, Tony Downie. Welcome, Tony. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. I really appreciate it. How are you?
Not too bad. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. After so long as well. Tell them.
Over a year.
Yeah, over a year.
She's waited patiently for over a year because we really been that busy for over a year.
Okay.
Like, it started off last year this month, actually.
Yeah.
Just up the road, we're Sydenham from here.
Sydenham is that way, this way, yeah.
Just up the road in Sydenham, the Lib Democratic Party, they had a dinner thing. I forget the name of the road. That this distinguished politician, and I must say that he's a man of color from the African descendant.
Oh.
Yeah, and
MP? Is that
yes.
MP? Yeah?
Oh yeah. So most definitely, and he invited me and my daughter.
Yeah.
And also that police superintendent, the one that left Scotland Yard, and he's telling
one.
Yes,
yeah, I know
institutional racist.
I can't remember his name.
Me and him met and we exchanged word on our thing because he's police and I'm British Army. For those who don't know.
Yeah, let us know about how that started.
Yeah, I served in 2nd Battalion, the Parachute Regiment. While we're on the note about the Parachute Regiment, I like to say, top of the morning to you, Malcolm Stoker. He's from this town, and him and Downie served in 2nd Battalion, the Parachute Regiment, and I'm alive because the shot that he is a good shot. He's one of the best snipers the British Army ever produced. Malcolm Stoker, if you're out there, top of the morning to you. Right, now we get that out of the way now.
So what does that mean, that you was in the war?
Yes, I've 3 tours another 9. This is in the 70s.
Okay.
When the IRA went around bombing up the whole of England, they bombed Aldershot, the officers' mess of the Parachute Brigade. They came to Guildford. They even came to London, Hyde Park. They went to Birmingham. Yeah, they went on a campaign and and they did Staples Corner. And that's what made me join the army, because my mother told me if her bus was 5 minutes late, she would not be here. I says, what? She says, they've blown up the whole thing. Then I joined the army.
Oh. Yeah. So how old was you when you joined it?
17.
17. Yeah. That's a big thing to do, isn't it, at that age?
Yes, of course it is.
Go in the army.
As I've only been in England like 1 year. And a year later, I'm in the British Army.
What a shock to the system.
Yes, it is. And getting used to the cold at the time, I wasn't climatized.
Yeah.
So today, I got problems with my hands.
Oh, arthritis.
Yes, extra cold. But what made me get in the army, I'm what you call one of them barrel baby. Meaning, my mom came here in 1962, left us, and she always sent back barrels to Jamaica.
Right.
For us. My dad came in the 60s, so I was one of the lucky ones. I got 2 barrels coming a year.
Yeah.
With all the goodies from England. But I saw my mom when I was 6-year-old. I'm going to England, son. I'll send for you as soon as possible. 10 years later, I was 16 when I saw her again. Oh, the decade had passed. I cry so much for my mom every night that until this day, I'm the only one in the family identical looking at my mother.
And that's a blessing. When a boy looks like the mom, it's a blessing. I'm jealous. Oh my God.
But how I actually...
So you were 6 years old here?
No, in
Jamaica on your... You had your grandparents? Oh, grandma. Okay.
Grandma, but yeah, of course, grandma. Love you, grandma, but it's no love like mommy's love.
Yeah.
Come on. And boys, we love our mother.
Hear that, son?
Yeah, boys, we love our mother. Girls, the daddy's girls, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I miss my mother to the bone, but you know, she's passed now, and I thank her for sending for me, because Europe opened my eye, especially England. But let me tell you how I got in the army. I came on a student visa, 16, to go to education here in England. And I was kind of too brainy. In the 70s, they saw things in color. For those who were born in the 80s and 90s, you don't know nothing about the 70s. The 70s, they weren't so politically corrected as per se.
I was born in 71.
Right, yeah. So you're kind of lucky. You kind of miss it when you were young. And they all saw things in colors. And they call us all the worst names and everything that you could think going.
Yeah.
And there's even guys in the British Army who thought the Queen of England don't want no man of color to be serving her. So not only did I have problem with the enemies we were fighting, I had to keep eyes in the back of my head for the racist guys from North whom were racist by ignorance. So when you get somebody that says, don't like you lot, why is that? Well, my nana don't like you lot, and my nana is my favorite girl in the world. Who am I going to side with, my nana or you? And then you got to explain to them that, guess what? Just give us a chance and you'll see. Check me by my character. And when we get in the war zone, he ends up being my best friend because it's you somebody totally different.
Yeah, you taught him something as well, isn't it? Yeah.
But it was the Home Office that made me get in the army. They told me, you came on a student visa, we don't see you get to no college. Didn't know that Wembley education system refused to send me to college and told my mama in the 70s pay for my education. The other thing that happened, they said, sir, 5 years in the army, we give you your papers. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the biggest lie ever been told to any immigrant coming in. I served 6 years in the parachute regiment, and today I've been in England 52 years. They still ain't make me a citizen or give me a British passport yet. Yes, and I fight free war for country. That's all. So you see, this is now what brings you around to the windrush scandal, because I'm a windrush generation.
I know you all can't see it like this.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. And basically what this does, it tells you that 7 p.m. to 9 on a Thursday evening, 40 Norwood Road, Taunton East, CR7 8HQ, we does a form filling surgery there, run by my daughter, K.E. Wilson Downie. And there is the app, we got a app called
www.cocoa.co.uk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you go onto that, 3 W's, then a dot, COCAA. And when you go on that, they type in windrush compensation, and it brings up a whole page. And on there, it will tell you how to access your forms to fill in and your eligibility. Because my daughter does a video on there which guide you step by step how to get your compensation, and also how to access the evidence that you need to give to the Home Office. Like this. Okay, I've got 2 brothers in London.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, or them, they got that name on it called that they were born here in England. When Dad left my mom, and by the time my mom got to England, he'd already located to Birmingham and married another woman. So,
so have they got their stay?
Yeah, they got everything because they're born here, but they got Dad's name on the birth certificate.
Oh, I see.
Now with me, Jamaica, 1956, we're colony, colonial rules. You gotta be 21 before you class as an adult. My dad was 19 when I was born, so he couldn't put his name on the birth certificate. You understand? Because he's not an adult. So that's stopping us from getting paid. Them kind of things, and you show them all, those are the kind of evidence. But we're working on that. But I will tell you that that's about my case personally.
Yeah.
There's other people that had to access proof of how they related to the people, because with this windrush compensation, primary claimants.
What do you mean by primary, for people that don't understand?
Yes, personals that arrived here in England before the 1st of January 1973. So if you come here during the 60s, 50s, 40s, you're primary claimant.
Okay.
Anybody coming after the 31st of December 1988, because the Home Office extended now, they will let you apply on the primary claimant. But once a primary claimant is being accepted, what he does, it opens that door, a big double swing door for the whole of your family. Meaning, all your children can make claim for what they done to the primary claimant. Like in my case, primary claimant, I'm the dad. My 8 children can apply for what you done to daddy. If the primary claimant is your brother, you can make a claim for what they done to your brother on a close relative application form. Whether you're born here or you're born abroad. Do you understand that? If you born here when your parents came here,
yes,
you claim on the close relative, because my children who were born here, they got from 20Ks upwards for what they tried to do to me. Because after I left the army, 1980, I suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. I was just going to ask, you must have had a lot of trauma. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And who helped you? Where did you get any help from any organisation?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. Truthfully, what was Salvation? A man from the Saleh Army came. It was one Christmas. I'll never forget this. I was in Cardboard City. Cardboard City used to be run by Waterloo, because it's near the Union Jack, where a lot of officers go. So I always wait till I see somebody from Pirate. I say, "Oh, you from the army?"
Yeah.
And I'll just like, give us something to buy me a meal or buy me a drink. I tell them straight what I want. If I want a drink, I tell them straight I need some alcohol, or buy me some food, I'm starved.
Yeah.
This silent man came up. I said, "What you got? You got food? Yeah. You got alcohol? No, I didn't got no alcohol, but I'll give you a card." I said, "What's your card?" He says, "That's for the Royal British Legion." "You army?" "Yeah." "Yes, I am." "Well, you found them. Whenever you get up here sober, you found them." I found the Royal British Legion, and they put me in touch. They says, "Okay, go SAFA. This is your local SAFA here. That's SAFA. That's for SAFA means for the Air Force, Army, and Navy. And the Navy, and they assist us. It's a what do you call this? An agency under the umbrella of the Ministry of Defense that assists ex-service personnel.
Are they still around now?
Yes, yes, they run totally. As long as there's a British Army or Navy, Air Force, they're there to help them. And they got me in the ex-servicemen hostel in White Horse Road, Limehouse.
Not Tottenham side.
No,
Limehouse.
Limehouse. Yeah.
So you was all alone going through all of this on your own?
On my own. I'm suffering from PTSD, I never know. And then got in trouble, because sometime on Christmas it'd be so cold. Because ladies and gentlemen, I spent 18 years on the streets of London after coming out the army. I mean, sleeping on the street. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Just gave up. My head was in a mess. And on Christmas Day, or before Christmas, I need to go somewhere warm. You take a brick, throw it through the window. I said, call the police, call the police. I just broke that. And the police come and take you to, and you can get in somewhere warm. I ended up in prison. And then came out, got back in trouble. And then the next thing I know, immigration is up my door. Your class as a foreign national.
So what age were you then?
Now we're talking about...
What age was that?
Wait, we're talking 2006. Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
2006, so 56, 66,
it's
76,
fresh then.
80. 56, 76, 86, 96. 2006. Yeah, I was 50. I was 50 year old, and they came.
God of mercy, huh?
To deport me. And I'm thinking, this can't be real. I fight war for your country. What are you talking about, deport? And they gave me immigration bail. And truthfully, I went on the run. I'm thinking, wow, of course. You're not going to...
Especially at that age as well, isn't it?
When I've been here from 16, that's like 34 years. Not living in Jamaica. Who do I know there? Where's everybody gone? They're all dead for all I care. The only person I know is what's here in England.
Oh my goodness me.
What happened? I got in trouble. I got a good judge. And he said, you know what? I'm going to send you to the Army Mental Health Unit in Cladidno in North Wales. This was 2002.
Oh, this is so fresh, Tony. Oh my word.
Yeah. And I got help there. And while I was there, I got back in touch with myself. And I found out that I wanted to live again.
Okay. Oh gosh. Do you know what? While you're talking, I'm thinking you're talking like back in the 70s this is happening, not like kind of like yesterday in that respect, you know? Oh my word.
But the good thing is, I'll never forget this. They now caught up with me, Home Office caught up with me by immigration.
What was that whole feeling like when they were after you?
Again?
Yeah.
No, when they called, that was good. You gotta catch me first before I worry. Because one thing the army do, teach you to live off the land, and I'm not bragging about
Had to be
this.
resilient.
Yeah, but I'm bragging about this, but I'm a man with 8 children from 4 baby mothers. My wife had 2, and we got divorced. This is in the 70s. I had a boy who was born in Berlin. And we're going to Ireland to do 18 months old. And poor girl from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Just said, no, I'll be the unlucky. You know when them people that think everything they do, they unlucky.
Yeah.
The IRA might start firing rockets in the camp, and I'm so unlucky coming on the house and kill me and my children. I'm not coming. I said, you know what? At least I know you're safe in England. At least I know if I live to come out the army, I'd have my bloodline there.
Yes.
If I die in the army, my bloodline live on. So guess what? Go. And then she divorced me in the 70s. But my boy was born British Military Hospital, Berlin. There's a reason why I'm saying this, and I'll come back to that later on. Now, what happened next was come out of the mental health unit in Wales, want to live again, came back to London, visit my mom, and you know they say the eyes is the doorway to your soul.
Soul, yeah.
And I sat down and I looked at my mother's eyes one day, and I saw death looking. I said, Mom, you're ill. Why you not telling me? Oh, son, don't worry. With diabetes, I stopped smoke, I stopped drink, I don't eat salt. I'm all right. But I knew she was dying.
Oh, gosh.
I want to change my ways before she went. And I started my best to like hang around her and that. I even went as far as, and this is what brought me to God. Yeah, it brought me with a spiritual connection. I even went to the Lord in prayer and says, guess what? Whatever it is, how much cheese you can take out of my life without hurting me physically and spiritually. And I heard 5 years. I said, okay, give my mother 5 years of my life. Extend it to her now. And I tell you, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this. I went to Park Royal Hospital and I saw a priest giving my mama the last rites. And I went up to her and I hold her and says, God says you can get 5 years of my life now. And my brother came in and just started take out those things what they stick into your arms. Take them out of her and we said, Mom, get up. You got 5 years of my life. And we took our mother out. And believe me, she lived another 5 years. And then she passed and my whole world tumbled in on me. Yeah, that was the worst thing I've ever been through. Regardless, I've seen a lot of arrows in the army, seen a lot of close acquaintance, got blown up on that, but Mom, nah, that's a different one. That's a heavy burden to cross. And I pray that whoever out there is going through this kind of scenario right now, just go to the Lord in prayer and He will answer you. So I've gotten over my mom being passed now, and I start reconnecting with my children. But I'm still on the run.
Still?
Yeah, I'm still on the run.
Oh my God.
2008 now, blum, they caught up with me 2008. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how do I get out of this one? They got me in a deportation center, Heathrow Airport called Cronbrook.
Colnbrook, yeah. There's
Then-
a prison down there.
Yeah, it's
as well.
a deportation
That's a
center.
deportation center. Ah, okay.
Yeah. And then the next thing they did, they transferred me to Dover Citadel, which is Dover, the train station. I mean, the airport is that one day, Gatwick, just down the road from me. And they had me to fly out the Tuesday. So we putting you on the bus to the Gatwick Holding Center in Gatwick Monday night, and you're on the first plane to Jamaica Tuesday morning. I will never forget this. They told me like a week in advance. And bring a thing for me to sign. Sign here, we give you £500 cash. When you get to Jamaica, you can open a business.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my God. I won't tell them what to kiss. £500 to start what business? After all the years.
Yeah.
And I lived in the church for every time they took me out the cell. If they let me out the cell 8 o'clock till 12 o'clock, I'm in the church. I'm praying to God. Come back 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock, I'm in the church talking, trying to make that spiritual connection. I'll never forget this, and you all will recognize it. All the Michael Jackson fan, the Thursday, you all heard Michael Jackson die? I'll never forget this. And then the Tuesday after that Thursday, I'm supposed to fly. And I'm praying, I'm rolling. I'm also crying as well because I'm a hard Michael Jackson fan. Yeah, we're hardcore Michael Jackson fan. And then Monday, they called me into the office and I'm thinking, oh my God, no God, no, I'm going to see me pick me. I'm going to see my children. Oh, am I going to see my family? Oh, will I ever get back to England? And they says, go into the cell and pack your bags. You're going home. I start bawling. Worse than when my mother died. Going home, I think Jamaica, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, yeah. And it says, what you doing here so long? You don't want to go home? Well, I run to the cell and bring my thing and come. Home where? He says, yeah, you're free. Get out of prison. Ministry of Defense found my papers. And this is what I'm telling you, there's a clause. That 1971 clause came here before the 1st of January 1971, which became law the 1st of January 1973. As long as you arrive in the UK from any Commonwealth country in the world before the 1st of January 1973, you're exempt from deportation. Hello.
Wow.
Hello. So I'm exempt. So all this you put me through should have never happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Should have never happened.
Gee whiz.
And, okay, Mark, reconnect with my children.
How did that feel?
Oh, wow. Can't describe it.
Can't describe it, huh?
Surreal. Surreal, proper surreal, yeah.
Oh, God. I'm amazed because you said you were 50.
Yeah.
When all of the... I'm there thinking you're like in the 70s or what have you. This was happening. This is literally like...
My eyes to life, no nothing will stop me. I'ma hustle every day until the day that I die. And my fam will be good.
Sorry about that, people. Sorry about that, Tony.
Yeah, that's
this
good.
is Roland.
Go.
Roland. You met him at the one who was giving the... thing is coming.
Oh yeah,
he's coming.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I'll make sure I bag the both of you that day.
Yeah. So like now, we come now. I'm free now. 2009.
2009.
Yeah, because that's when Michael Jackson died. August 2009 on the Thursday, and I'm free the Monday after the day Michael Jackson died. And basically, 9 years later, now. 9 years later now, from 2009, I've settled back in. I've got papers from the Home Office now where I can get housing. Cause before I couldn't get no housing because they didn't have no Home Office papers. They never gave me none, like they did to all the rest of the Windrush people, and then come and kick you all out.
And a few of the people passed as well, didn't they go through all of this as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And so basically now what happened after that now, my daughter Katie came on and says, Dad, they got a thing called windrush compensation and it's kicking off in 2019, but I've managed to get some application forms. So they're not gonna give me no money. Home office don't like we. I says, oh well, at least write it up and send it in. Well, she twisted my arm a bit. Oh, Katie, stop twisting my arm. Write it up, send it off. 2018. 2019, they gave me biometric card. I went to the bank council, who for the past 18 years refused to give me housing because I had no home office papers.
What a journey.
Now we're up to 2021, 2022, and all of a sudden Home Office is sending me a check for £75,000.
Oh my God.
I said, yeah, I'll take that, but if you think that fixes everything, it ain't fixed nothing.
No.
So you see, like I told you, I'm homeless for 18 years. No home office paper. They even refused to pay my homeless thing. Then the House of Parliament brought it back, and me and them is back in a claim to pay me for them homelessness.
Yeah, all them years. Oh my word.
The other thing, it made all my children as a primary claimant. My 8 children can claim.
Because of the distress it brought to them,
yes,
isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Distress and all the pain and sorrows and thinking your daddy's going to get deported, we'll never see him again and things like that. And then after that you get, now where we now? Home Office pay that? Yeah. You get, excuse me.
That's all right.
Take a minute.
Yeah, no, take your time. That's all right.
That's all right. Emotional sometimes.
Oh, don't worry. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. No, I really appreciate you digging. I'm just in shock that it's literally like yesterday, not years. Like, oh gosh, speechless myself. Really, to God. Wow.
No, the reason I got emotional, I remember I was telling you about my son born in British Military Hospital, Berlin. Now hear this. It's like an enemy's come after the daddy or the mama. Can't get the mama or the daddy. So what they do? They come after your firstborn child.
Yeah.
My son born in Berlin, British Military Hospital. Rules say any land gained by warfare, military warfare, and occupied by the British Army, property of the Crown of England. Any children born to any soldier who is contracted to the British Army, property of the Crown, British subject, British citizen, like in my case in Berlin, born outside the borders of UK.
Oh no, that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. Morning. Thank you for joining us. Morning.
Yeah. Born outside the borders of the UK. Ministry of Defence gave my son a British birth certificate. 2008. 2008. My son now is 31. But he's born 1977. He goes to Luna House in Croydon with his British birth certificate. Hello. I was born in British Military Hospital, Berlin. Here's my British birth certificate. I would like my citizenship on my passport. They told my son, you're in the wrong embassy. Go German embassy, you're born Berlin, Germany. I'll go Jamaican embassy. And he says, no, my dad served in the British Army. That's how I was born there. If my dad were in the army, I'd have born in England. And this is what the rules say. They made my son stateless. 2008. Now imagine, made my son stateless 2008, tried to put me on a plane 2009, 9 years later now, 2017, what do you think they do? They come and try to deport my son.
What?
To Jamaica. Guy born in Europe. Are you going to put somebody who born in Europe to Jamaica? What does he know about Jamaica?
Know about it, yeah.
Then they come back, oh, we will send you to Germany. Yes, we're going to deport you to Germany, and we had to fight a case to save my firstborn boy.
And he's variably young, 31, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh
now he's 47 now.
Mm.
Yeah, the years has gone on. They still
me.
ain't giving him a British passport or citizenship. And we got a case going on with the Ministry of Defence right now. It's on a tier 1 appeal. And we're asking them, give my son his British citizenship.
Yeah.
That rules and regulation I show you about, born property of the crown and all of that, that's in our just explained. Born property of the crown, born British subject, born British citizen. I didn't make those rules.
Yeah.
This is statute of law passed by the law lords in the House of Lords.
You've gone through a bit of a lot of it, isn't you? You've gone through this journey, huh?
Believe.
Oh my word.
So, you know, we're here fighting that case. And
so where's your son now? Is he in Berlin now?
No, he's here.
Okay,
They found him like me, exempt.
Oh.
Exempt from deportation, exempt from something. It's like you've been to court, jury found you guilty, went to appeal, the law lord says, hang on a minute, his verdict is unsafe. As a matter of fact, they should have never charged him, meaning he's exempt.
Yeah.
So this should never have happened. And I wonder why the Home Office is attacking my family like that, because the way I look at it, we're a family that's loyal to Crown and country. And we serve in the British Army. We're not a family that support terrorist organization and going around blowing up England. So why the Home Office doing it?
They got it all wrong, isn't it? It's all wrong what they've got.
But
They thought.
you think, is it a colour thing? Is it hatred against the Windrush generation? And not forgetting how the Windrush generation came here in England.
Yeah.
World War II finished. Hitler bombed up the whole of Britain. And they need people to come in. Builders to come in. Road workers to come in. Nurses to come in. Bus drivers, train drivers, you name it. All these jobs that the young workforce of Britain were laying dead on the battlefield. So they had to call us from the Commonwealth to do this. And then after a while now, they didn't give us no paper. And who was it? I think it was Margaret Thatcher when she was Home Secretary came up. Oh, if you came on the Windrush boat, we don't need you no more. You're illegal immigrant. Get rid of them.
Oh my God.
Margaret Thatcher, who became Prime Minister, started this. And lady called Theresa May solidified it just recently. But thank God, none of them ain't Prime Minister no more. And you know, the prayers of the Windrush generation goes out to the Almighty Creator for what we've been through. You know what I mean? I don't want to go too far and even bring slavery into what we've done for this country, but the Windrush generation is recently, you talking 75 years. You know? That's like one of your granddad.
Yeah.
All you 75-year-old granddad. They came here in 1948.
Yeah. My
to
God,
help
that's
build,
sort of, yeah,
to help
definitely.
build this country and what they done to them.
Gosh. How's your mental health now, though, Tony? It must be still like that. It can't be healed.
Not good.
That's no. There's no healing there yet.
No, it's not good. Not good at all. You know, I got my good days and my bad days. So that's from the army things and plus what the Ministry of Defence has done to my family.
Yeah.
But it might sound like I'm bragging or boasting now, but it's not. Helpers come along the way. Like I told you about the Live Democratic.
Yes.
They put me in one of their magazines. I said, look what the Home Office is doing to this ex-serviceman from the Windrush generation. Next thing I know, Radio 4 came. Same, this all happened in March last year now.
So again, recent again.
Yeah, March last year, Radio 4 came, did me an interview. But I was up in Manchester, I was doing a Windrush presentation because my daughter and I go nationwide telling people how to access the form, how to access the evidence and what form to do, because I told you about the primary claimant told you about the close relative. There's also one. Your grandma could have come here 48 and died. Or your mom, died, or your dad, or your granddad. You can claim for them via what's called the deceased application. And if they accept that, then guess what? It opens the door for granddad children, his grandchildren, to get compensation because they deserve it. Because don't forget, it's granddad and great-granddad that went through room for
racism,
rent.
everything.
Room for rent, applied with him, no dogs, no Irish, no blacks. Come on. And they had to run from all them teddy boys and skinhead who came wait for them in the morning when they're going to work and run them down with golf clubs and baseball bat and be beating them because of the color of their skin just to get to and from work. I know one person that I work on his case. He slept in a cafe every night for a year and went and got up and went to work. And the man who owned the cafe rented him a room in Kensal Green eventually after 1 year. Buy cups of tea and sit down and drink and fall asleep at the table. But ambitious. He still got his work to go to. Before things turn off for him. God. So
when you make me think like that, it makes me think what my grandparents went through.
Yes.
Because I didn't really know what they would have experienced. Only the little bit of racism, but now you're saying it like that. They definitely went through.
Oh my Lord, I'm telling you. Whoa. There's one case where they catch them. This is now, I can tell you about Labrador Grove side. And some teddy boys running them down, you know, cause this man, I'm telling you.
So the teddy boys are like the NF?
They're basically like that, you know. But they were Elvis Presley, hardcore Elvis Presley fan. With it, what do you call it? Smooth down here with lots of brew cream and all of that. And we had the big boots, yo. I'm telling you.
Wow.
And what happened? They ran down three black men came out of this pub and they were running down. Now at that time, if you go past 11 o'clock in the night, we're talking 50s England, 11 o'clock in the night and you're black on the street, the cops are arresting you.
Just for being on the streets?
Yes. And they were running down, three black men, and they ran up to the police and hide behind the police, but there's like 20 teddy boys. And the police said, no good hiding behind me, and pull away and watch them catch hold of one of the black men, chuck him over the bridge from the train coming from Paddington, heading up the north, and got run over by the train. And they nothing to do with us and walked off. These are the kind of things that we went through, you know. And then for some lady from Dulwich to come along and tell you, I'm now Home Secretary, you're not welcome anymore, you're a legal immigrant. What about all the hard work we done? Counts for nothing? Come on. And today, we're fighting for this. But like I say, Liberal Democratic, done the paperwork, Radio 4 came, then Daily Express came, done a whole article on me, then ITV, 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock news, had me on there because I'm an ex-serviceman and the parachute regiment, it's only the SAS is higher than us. We're the highest killer of the British Army in uniform. The SAS can kill you whether he's got his uniform on or not if you're a terrorist. Me, I gotta be in my uniform. So after all that, and then Age UK came and did an whole article on me. And they took me in the House of Lords, where I met Baroness Flo Benjamin. Baroness Flo Benjamin, that's me.
Yeah, he looks familiar.
That's me.
Is that you?
Yes, that's me. That's
me. He looks familiar.
That's
People,
me.
That's Tony there.
That's me with the bowler hat on.
Yeah. Wow.
Me, yeah.
And he looks familiar as well.
Yeah. Oh, no, if you turn to the middle, it shows you Conroy's story. That's the lady's story.
This is going to be a really good...
black professor. We got black professor now from the Windrush generation.
Wow.
Produce a black professor. and the black judge. We have them.
Oh gosh.
Black barrister. No, I'm not just colouring it, but I'm telling you from where they
this
think
is you,
we
look.
nowhere. And they tell you about
Ah,
my
so
son.
that's why I didn't know, because it's Conroy.
Yes.
The name.
Yeah,
wow,
Conroy,
look at
yeah,
you.
Conroy, also known as Tony.
Tony.
It says it here.
Okay. There's our break.
Yeah.
Goddess Jazzy Show. I am still here with my wonderful guest, Tony Downie, speaking about the Windrush and what his journey, what he went through. I actually thought it was back in the 70s. This is like fresh news that you were 50 when you went through all of this that you've all been hearing. Let me just put this on there. And my next guest is here as well, Roland, houslin. He'll be back in a moment. But honestly, Tony, you're still here, and it's just wow, isn't it?
That's right.
So do you see anyone for your mental health? Is there like practitioners you go and see?
Well, I told you what, after a while, they stopped giving me the medication, them psychotic medication, because some of them will get real addictive and can mess you up worse. Yeah. And then my psychiatrist is actually not around anymore. He's passed away. Okay. But he was from down North Wales, one of the top psychiatrists. And basically what he's done now is given me psychotherapy counseling, psychoanalysis counseling, and general counseling, where I sit down with a counselor who I'm comfortable with, and I can open up. So it's like this. Imagine all your bad stuff, and you put them in a black plastic bag. Yes. And you got the bin, and you put it in the bin. But guess what? The bin is inside of you. Yeah. So you got to look at get an imaginary door, open that door, take out that plastic bag with all that rubbish and chuck it one side, close back the door. Then you open another door and take all the good memories of things that you love and your loved ones and put it there. Yes. And you can tap into that anytime you're feeling bad. And it kind of works in a way. It's a psychological thing, but it does work. It works, yeah? Yes, because one of my best posting ever, Berlin, while the wall was up. Oh, yes, it was such a wonderful city. Yeah. Yes, yeah. In the 70s? Wow. Imagine you leave England, where for the colour of your skin, you get people who's putting you down and making you feel and damage your self-esteem and your ego, and making you feel you're not worth living. You go to Germany, and because you're in the British Army, and don't forget, Berlin is in the east of Germany, you know, controlled by the Russian. But where the wall goes wrong, West Berlin, we keep all them Germans free. So we're the best thing ever sliced bread. And what they also, you can come and sit. The people who took, the people who took what you call the pressure of how black people get in Britain was, guess who? The Turks. The Germans didn't like the Turks. So I go there and the pressure is off me. Okay. So there's still a lot of black servicemen who went to Germany and they didn't come back to England. They stayed there because they get treated like the human that we are. Yeah. You know? So this was the thing. Oh, wow. And about the House of Parliament and the House of Lords, I'll leave that for my new guest, Roland, who's more expert in those fields than I am. Okay. But I'll just say about my son. How the case is with my son now, we're going back to the Home Office. We got a tier 1 interview, trying for them to honor the laws that was made by the statute of law made by the House of Lords, and give him his British citizenship and his British passport. And gentlemen, and you guys in Radio Land, top of the morning to you. I think you've heard enough from me. And the master of everything right
Roland
here.
Houslin. Houslin. Okay, let's have a look at you here. There you are.
Look up the camera, Roland, when you're ready. The camera right here.
I don't mind not being in it now. So people, I'm here with Roland Houslin. Where's that surname come from?
It is said it's Scottish.
Oh, it's Scottish.
It is said. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The name is scattered. There are not many people. There are not many that use the surname. Not many houslins around. Few of us, primarily in Jamaica, and some in America. Okay. Few in Costa Rica and Panama. Because my great-great-grandfather left Jamaica and went to Panama to he worked on the Panama Canal, and then some went to Costa Rica.
Okay.
And recently I made a discovery, doing some research and stumbled on an article around about the time when the canal was being built, and I found the name that may be my great-great-grandfather who went after Panama.
Okay. Welcome anyway. I'm trying to get us all in, but I don't know how to do it. So we have to all come and squeeze up, Roland. Because
Yeah, I can do that.
let's try squeeze it a bit, Let's see if we can. That's a bit better. Yeah. That's a bit better, isn't it?
Right.
Let's push it back. So,
You need to
yeah.
go back a bit.
Go back?
Until slightly.
This way?
Right, yeah, that way.
Yeah.
This way.
Tilt it from that angle.
Lord, this thing. This thing don't even stay up now.
Come on, no, take it a bit more that way. Yeah, there you go.
And it's not stopping. I don't know how you lock the thing. Lordy. Listen, we'll make it. Somehow.
Yeah.
That's better, isn't it? Squeeze up.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's start.
So this mic mine, yeah?
Yeah, that's your one, yeah?
Cool.
Okay, welcome. Thank you for coming. I know the weather's awful and it must have been difficult trying to find here. But
It is certainly difficult to find here.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge.
But you made it and I'm grateful.
Yeah, I just made it. Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to speak about today. Let me say who you are. So this is Roland houslin. You campaign and lobbying of the House of Commons. That's right?
Yeah, that's
that
part
soon?
of what
Yeah?
I do.
Okay.
From Justice for Windrush Generation. Not Justice for Windrush. Justice for Windrush Generations. With an S.
Okay. And what does that mean for people that don't know? We've learned a lot from Tony today, so what else does it mean?
It means we campaign for all the generations, not just those that came during from 1948 to 73. Also their descendants as well, because in many cases the Windrush generation is impacted, but in many cases their children and grandchildren and in some cases as well great grandchildren are impacted. So generations, because there are quite a number of individuals that were born in the UK and had issues.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's
I'm one of them.
Yeah. Oh, so you're one of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Yeah, with the issues. Yeah, 100%. Oh my word.
So that's why we say generations.
And it's funny because when you're growing up, you're wondering why certain things happening. So now I'm getting an understanding that it could have been because of this and that. Okay.
Yeah, because there's a misconception out there that it's just those. Well, there are many misconceptions that you would have had to come on the ship being the Windrush, that particular one, but you don't need to have come on that particular one or any other ship. The mode of transportation is not necessarily what's important. What is important is where you're from and the particular timeline. So there are a number of categories or cohorts that are impacted depending on where they came from, when they came, and where they're born, etc. Okay. I can run through the list and give you an
Yes, please, yeah.
Right, so as far as the scheme is, well, the Windrush generation is 1948 to 1973. The name Windrush was used because of the ship that was named Windrush, which was ex-military troop carrier, German troop carrier that was captured from the German during the Second World War and was renamed Windrush. And the first set of immigrants, so to speak, that came from the Commonwealth, specifically the Caribbean at that time, came on that particular ship on the 22nd of June 1948. So that's why they say Windrush generation. So you don't necessarily need to come. There were other ships as well, a number of other ships that came. However, it's not but the mode of transportation, as I said. It's when you came on plane, ship, etc., is not important. So as far as the scheme is concerned, in order to be eligible to apply to the scheme, there's eligibility and there's entitlement, and I'll try to explain both and hopefully give the difference between eligibility and entitlement. So in order to be eligible to apply to the scheme, One, you would have had to enter the UK from a Commonwealth country before the 1st of January 1973. Secondly, or two, came to the UK or entered the UK from any country. It does not say except Commonwealth country. From any country before the 1st of January 1989. Also, they entered the UK before the age of 18, and the parent or grandparents came from a Commonwealth country. Unfortunately, this one is the one that is most ignored or misunderstood. You were born in the UK, and your parent, our grandparent, and our came from a Commonwealth country. Yeah.
Like my mom and grandma came here.
There are quite a number of individuals, as I said earlier on, that were born in the UK and had issues, so to speak. And I'll explain what the issues are as we go along. And I mean, coming across a number of cases where individuals were born here in 1989, 1980, etc., etc., and had issue getting a British passport. They only found out when...
In the 80s as well.
Yes, and later. When they applied, let's say they booked the flight, etc., and kind of applied for a passport, and then they had issues at that point, despite the fact that they were born in the UK. Now, in such a case, in fact, when I stumbled upon a few days ago, this particular individual was born, I think, 1991, and his mother came from Uganda, and his father came from Nigeria. And I'm glad to speak about that because the assumption is made that it's Jamaicans.
And that's what I thought as well.
And it's Caribbean. It's not a Jamaican Caribbean scheme, so to speak. Others are impacted. A lot of West African, a lot of Ghanaians, Sierra Leoneans, Nigerians, etc., are impacted. However, Jamaicans are disproportionately impacted, more than any other. Followed by that, Caribbean are impacted more than any other group, proportionately. However, there are others that across the Commonwealth, with Commonwealth background, and I'll rephrase it, British Commonwealth background. So we're talking about Botswana, Namibia, Uganda, South Africa, Nigeria, Commonwealth country, those countries that were colonized by the British.
But you know what? I don't mean to cut you. It's not advertised much, those countries, for the Windrush at all. It's only now that I'm hearing you say it. Like you said, it's just the Caribbean I've only heard. For the so why is that? Why isn't it?
Well, as I say, Jamaicans are disproportionately impacted, and Caribbeans disproportionately impacted. Caribbean on a whole, followed by Jamaicans. So it's time to reason that the word would get out there more in those community, and then it just snowball, the narrative just snowball, giving that impression that it's Jamaicans and Caribbeans only. Okay, so there's some word that needs to be put in there to let it know that it goes beyond Jamaica, goes beyond the Caribbean, and it's across the Commonwealth, and it's not just those who traveled to the UK, those that were born here. And there are a number of individuals that were born here, and as we speak now, they've got issues returning to the UK. Not just for months, not years only, but in one particular case, there's a lady in Barbados at the moment that has been stuck in Barbados for decades. And that is despite, just to keep it on point, because there are a number of reasons that she could have been exiled there, so to speak. But let me be clear. She left the UK with a British passport, so it was clear, definitive, that she had the right to be in the UK. And when she needed to renew her passport to return to the UK, the High Commission in Barbados was not very accommodating, so to speak. Consequently, she has been stuck there for years. But sadly, that's not unique to her.
Shocking.
But
shocking.
Justice for our Windrush generation, myself, we put out special effort to reach out to those outside the UK. And the reason why I have taken that approach is due to my lived experience, because I'm one of those that were born in the UK. My brother and I, my grandfather came here in 1959, Mother came here 1960. Father came 61. Older brother was born 66. I was born 68. 1973, we traveled to Jamaica. And around about 1974, living at the time we're living downtown Kingston, 28.5 East Queen Street to be specific. My father was working in a car in the back. My mother and my brother was at the top of the stairs. It was a concrete stairs. My brother tumbled down the staircase, was in Kingston Public Hospital for about 3 nights. Unconscious. Some point, weeks or months later, I can't be that specific. My father started making attempts for the family to return to the UK. One of the main reasons for the family, for him to put out that effort, along with my mother, but primarily him, return to the UK was because of the injury my elder brother sustained in that tumble. And
what age was he?
At the time, he was about 74. He was born 66 or 8 to 9 years around about ish. Can't be specific and when the accident happened, but around about that time. And due to the hostility that my parents experienced at the British High Commission in Jamaica, despite the fact that my brother and I were born here, we didn't return to the UK until the 24th of March 1988. Okay? No. Number of attempts were made along the way, and I'm giving you the sanitized version of what actually took place, the suffering went through, the inconvenience, etc. And why I say it's a sanitized version, and what you'll find in many cases is that when individuals like myself were impacted, my brother, etc., if I share my story with you and go into the intricacies and the details, what I'm doing is actually be doing is sharing my extended family, my mother, brother, etc., personal details, personal information, which obviously they have not given me the information to do. So that's why I've got to sanitize it to a great extent and I leave a lot of it, but it was not an easy road, so to speak. I've shared more details than I'm going to share today with other platforms, but I don't intend to go into that because some of it can be triggering, to be honest with you. Now, when I came to the UK, when I was growing up in Jamaica, I knew of numerous other individuals that were born in the UK, like myself, and had issues returning to the UK, primarily due to the hostility that experienced at the High Commission, because one of the attitudes then, and to a certain extent it still is that these countries, your country, your Jamaica, your Nigeria, your Ghana, etc., said you wanted independence. You've now got independence, so you're on your own.
Yourself, sort of thing, isn't it?
Exactly. One particular individual was told, go stew in your own juice. So that was the kind of attitude then. Should I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm not even laughing like that. I'm just like shocked.
No, well, it was an experience. So I'm coming primarily from a lived experience. The hostility that myself and my family experienced, did not start in 2007 as the narrative that is being pumped out there by the Home Office and others. And it started way back 1974, around about 28 and a half.
Something like what you were saying is what
downtown Kingston. As I said earlier on, my experience was not unique to me. There were others within a 10 to 12 mile radius of where I grew up, went to school in Jamaica. I know probably another 10, 12 individuals, myself, born in the UK, had a right to return to the UK, however, had issues returning to the UK due to the hostility they experienced with the High Commission. Now, when the windrush, well, we've got time, so I'm going to... When the hostile environment and the Home Office's scandalous behavior started to come to the forefront in 2017, 2018, and I got involved with the campaign, so to speak, on about 2000, summer 2021, I started to discover that what I experienced in Jamaica, being born here and had issues returning to the UK, was not unique to myself or unique to Jamaicans, people that were born here or lived in Jamaica. it goes across the world and across the Commonwealth. I began to discover that quite a number of Nigerians experience the same thing. Quite a number of Ghanaians, Sierra Leoneans, etc., experience it. The event we had last Saturday in Balam, there was a lady that came over from Nigeria. Her husband was born in the UK a couple of years ago, despite the fact this gentleman is post 50, traveling numerous years on his British passport. A couple of years ago, when his daughter was about to graduate from university, they rescinded his passport, took away his passport, and we took up the case and he got his passport back. Another Ghanaian gentleman was in Ghana, came back to the UK, had brain tumor, went to the hospital, a particular hospital, I'm not going to name it, in South London.
I probably worked there. I can't imagine which one it is.
And they decided to charge him for the treatment because they said he was not British.
Even though he had his British passport.
Exactly. So
goodness
there are many cases.
There has to be a part 2 of this, Roland. This can't just end here.
Well, there will be a part 2.
You have to come in to have another part 2 here. Honestly.
There will be a part 2 and a part 3.
And a part 3 because,
what I'm saying is very heavily edited.
Yeah.
But the impact is far deep and it's very wide.
My God. And then, like I said, I probably worked in that hospital years ago, so I can imagine which one it is too. Wow.
Just 1 minute, I just want to come in here. Roland mentioned something very interesting when he told you there's numerous countries that was affected when the colonial system of Britain. In fact, Britain colonized 138 countries that is on this windrush agenda that can claim, included Australia, South Africa, Canada, yes, and New Zealand, and they getting the biggest award because when I was in the House of Lords last week Thursday, the Home Secretary that came and was speaking, and when he gave a breakdown of ethnicity of the payment, that when he came on to the Caucasian one, and some of them he declined, but we found out like Nigeria, 170 people that got paid, Jamaica 1,000 something. When you look at the people of color receiving compensation, or 75 million pounds that's paid out, we are on the lower end of people's being paid. The Caucasian, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, white South Africans, they got more. I don't know. They never come on the windrush ship, but I know they had a ship called the Windrush Escania. It was an Italian ship that they used, because there's quite a few people that I do surgery with, me and my daughter, who keep mentioning the Windrush Escania. But Roland is one of those who goes in the House of Parliament and he has it with the politician them reasoning, debating vigorously for justice for us. So any of you out there in Radio Land listening, Roland will give you contacts of how you can get him by email, get and liaise with him, because the etiquettes of the rules and regulation of how we on the Windrush generation, which Roland is doing, where we can apply and go to. He knows all the rules and he can tell you. My daughter and I also run a Windrush form signing thing at 14 Norwood Road, Taunton East, CR7 8HQ on a 7 p.m. to 9 on a Thursday. We do one-to-one form filling. And we also tell you how to access it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. You can't make the Home Office get away with the liberties they've taken with our race. Come out, get your compensation, and live a better quality life.
So another question I want to ask. What if you can't, say for instance, your grandparents have died. What if you can't get their birth certificate, for instance?
Well, a good question. But
Yeah.
we come across a number of cases where
Okay.
individuals, that's a deceased estate claim. Yeah, there are three categories
Yeah.
of claim. You got a primary
I'm
claim.
only asking because certain
Yeah,
parts of the
relevant.
family don't want
Quite,
to give it.
quite,
What happens
yeah,
then?
It's a certain family don't want it.
Yeah, they don't want to,
Right, I'm glad you touched on that. I'm going to come on to that in a minute, right? So, right, the gatekeeper in the family. Because
Yes.
in many families, if not most, yeah, you got that one individual that appoint themselves the family's accountant, the family's lawyer, etc., etc., and everything has got to go to that particular individual, and everything goes by what they say. They will hold on to the death certificate, birth certificate, bank account, etc., and some other things they will hold on to that I want to go into as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if in where you can't get the birth certificate, they hold on to the and I'm going to rephrase that, they're holding on to a copy of the birth certificate.
Yes.
Okay. Now in the UK, if that person, well, in many cases they're born out of the individual is born outside the UK, in Jamaica's case or wherever, depending on which country, you can apply for a copy of the.
But you need to know. What if you don't
know?
How can I put it? For instance, my dad died, and I don't know the date, and I don't know what his date of birth is.
Right.
So how would I?
Well,
difficult, isn't it?
It can be difficult. However, there are many roads to Rome. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
Right. So you start and then give whatever try and get as much information as possible, and then
if you can,
you obviously have the person's name, etc., etc.
Yes.
But what you must not do is give up, right?
Okay.
And there are various approaches you can take, and also we work alongside a number of individuals, okay, from lawyers, accountants, etc., etc., researchers, genealogists. I met this genealogist up in Birmingham that she grew up in the UK, but she knows some of my family members here in the UK, and she knows more about my past in Jamaica, family relations, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And in fact, before you remember I mentioned this thing earlier on about family member in Panama. She told me about houslins in Panama prior to me. So we can take that approach as well. So say all that to say this: if you walk up on if you should meet on a stone wall, so to speak, or any barriers, speak with others, speak with myself, and hopefully I can signpost you to someone or an organization that will assist you in whatever way, shape, or form to get those documentation, whether it's a birth certificate, death certificate, or wherever. And it depends on which country, whether it's Grenada, Jamaica, etc., etc. Yeah. So in Jamaica's case, we've got some people on the ground there that can assist, can solve all problems, but they can signpost and give you ideas how to go about getting death certificate, birth certificates, etc., etc. Now you touch on deceased estate. But this because there are three categories. The primary, you got a primary claim, that is you, the individual that is impacted, went through the issues, the job, couldn't travel, etc., etc. Then there is the deceased estate. In terms of the eligibility and entitlement criteria are prerequisite, there's absolutely no difference between a primary claim and a deceased claim. No difference at all, except that individual that would have been eligible to apply and entitled to compensation or using the scheme for status is now deceased. Okay, so crudely speaking, a deceased estate claim is a deceased primary claim. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's the only difference. The individual is deceased.
Okay.
The close family member claim, there are 5 groups or 5 cohorts of family members, so to speak, that can make a claim, but they've got to fit particular criteria.
Okay.
So in order to make a claim as a close family member, you need to be the wife or husband of a primary claimant or a deceased eligible and entitled individual. Or you are the parent of primary or deceased, children of primary or deceased, eligible and entitled, or siblings of primary, entitled and deceased. Or lastly, you've lived in a relationship with a primary claimant or a deceased individual while they were going through the issues, going through the struggle, and you lived in the UK lawfully, legally at the time they're going through the struggle. Now, I would like to clarify something here. Now, in order to apply as a close family member claimant, you do not necessarily need to have come from a Commonwealth country, and you do not need to necessarily have a Commonwealth background. Can you stand to reason?
Repeat that again, Roland.
In order to apply as a close family member, to submit a claim as a close family member, you do not need to have come from a Commonwealth country, or your parents or grandparent came from a Commonwealth country. You don't need to have that lineage, so to speak. And I tell you why. Because you got wife or husbands. So you could be a Japanese or whatever country, and you're married to a Nigerian, etc., etc., or children of. Yeah. Okay. So that's why you don't necessarily need to have that, especially with wife or husband. Okay. Now, you mentioned a campaign earlier. What we're trying to do in a lot of cases is get some expansion to the scheme. When I say expansion, I mean to have things brought into the scheme that are not actually there at the moment. And to a great extent, the scheme is not fit for purpose. The scope is so narrow, so to speak. So I mentioned that children can claim, siblings can claim. However, there's not a category there for grandchildren. And there's not a category there for in-laws. So daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, mother-in-law, and father-in-law can't claim. And the practical reason why I said the scope needs to be narrow to make the scheme make more sense. So if you can imagine a situation where a mother is impacted, she lived in this house with her son, her daughter, her husband, her wife. But her son, her daughter, has not got the financial stability to support that mother, financially, emotionally, etc. In a lot of cases, the son or the daughter, the child of that impacted individual, may have been impacted themselves and impacted to such an extent that they cannot support anyone emotionally or any other way. So that is taken up, that could be taken up by the in-law, the son-in-law or the daughter-in-law. However, despite the fact that they live in the same house and are going through the same struggles, so to speak, due to the impact of the primary claimant, that person cannot claim. Close family member. You mentioned a close family member earlier on. Close family members in the UK can make a claim. However, I did say many individuals came to the UK, had a right to be in the UK, and were exiled from the UK. So you got Nadine White's documentary that mentioned the buried children, those children that were born outside the UK and for whatever reason didn't get to enter the UK. And in a lot of cases, it was due to the hostility of Home Office. So you've got a case where, you could have a case where mother or father was in the UK, went back to Jamaica, Nigeria, wherever, and got exiled there. It's the buried child, so to speak, will have to look after that grandparent. And that is happening in many cases. In my case, that's the one that has never entered the UK that is looking after that 85-year-old, etc. However, that close family member can submit a claim. Okay?
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Yes. Are the forms easy to read through? Because a lot of people,
no, well,
gosh.
You could say, even if you say the form is easy to read through,
or to understand
it's the way it's presented. Okay. It's a lot of it's very, very vague in many areas. Lots of ambiguity there in the way it's phrased and so on. And I think they're up to the 13th draft of the forms and the guidance note now. The first forms that came out, the way they were presented, I would be kind if I said it was gobbledygook and double Dutch. If it done in there,
and you know, us as people, typos. Once it's like that, you don't want to go any further.
There are many typos that were there. I think they have got a clear in English crystal mark. So it's a bit clearer at the moment. And due to how it was worded, there are many individuals that were eligible and entitled and should have applied to the scheme, but because of the way the form was at that time, especially early draft,
yes,
many individuals did not apply that should have applied.
yeah, I can imagine.
But it can be a lot more straightforward. I mean, the post office, make comparison between the form for the post office and this one. And let me from the post office scheme is not ideal. It's a lot easier and a lot more straightforward for the posters. For instance, our at the windrush preliminary payment is 10,000. Okay. The post office was 75,000, and then it was 100,000. And in the
it seems to be a lot of traction for that post office
exactly.
scheme more than this.
In the House of Lords last week, Baroness Benjamin, I think, said it was 75,000. However, it's a lot higher than that. And if I should say it is 100,000, that would be incorrect as well. Because it's now 450,000 for the post office. Okay? And if you've been to prison, some postmasters, missus, we were gone to prison without having to fill out this long string of forms. You can get a payment of 600,000, which they aren't accepting. I agree, it should be a lot more than that. So, wow. Why is the windrush approach different?
I was going to say, why is this one so hard to get through? Why does it have to be this hard? I mean, I know inside, but for the viewers and listeners, why?
All right.
You know?
Why do you think it's so hard? I know you're the interviewer. Why do you think it's so hard?
Because they don't want to give, basically, and maybe as well they don't want to admit their mistakes.
Right, I'm gonna go a bit deeper.
Oh, you're gonna go deeper.
Right. From black people and the plantation.
Yeah.
They have been treated in a particular way. They were expected to respond in a particular way. As you may well aware, the Metropolitan Police Force and many other police forces have been hostile to the black community, the Caribbean community, African community, for years, decades. Some died in police custody. They found to be racist over the years. However, many so-called decent people within British community, British society, did not see it as a problem for these individuals to be dying in police custody, to be abused, and in many cases, I would say kidnapped. Remember, in the 80s, 90s, you had children that would be arrested in Brixton, and then they'll be taken to another part of London, and no one would know they are. Parents wouldn't know where they were. That one went on for decades. However, over the past few years, there were other groups that began to suffer the hostility. Not to the extent as the black community. However, they began to get a taste of what the black community has been going through for decades. And then all of a sudden, the behavior of the Metropolitan Police is so wrong and unjust. And that is fundamentally why the windrush generation is treated. We are expected that when we are treated in a particular way that no other community would be treated, we are expected to respond in a particular way. Those side. But my response is that we're not on the plantation anymore, and don't expect us to react as if we're on the plantation. The problem with the windrush, with the hostility, the impact on the windrush generation started right there in the House of Commons. Started by parliamentarians, the likes of Enoch Powell. However, it was not just Enoch Powell that subscribed to that mindset. There were others around Enoch Powell, and answered reports are there and memos, etc. to verify.
I've only heard of him because I was born in 71, so I don't know much about him. To be
You're born in
71, 1971.
I thought you were born about 1981. I'm a bit older, 91. Anyway,
so I don't know, but I heard about him, but not much. You know what I mean? I won't be able to tell you, oh, he does this or that. No, I don't know much.
Life out has been kind to you. Anyway, back to normal service. So that mindset of Enoch Powell and others like him, influenced.
So he was a racist. Is that how it is?
Yeah, fundamentally, he was on spoke about blood of rivers, etc., etc. And the black man soon will have the whip hand, etc., etc. So the mindset of Enoch Powell and others influenced those policies that disproportionately impacted the Windrush generation.
Okay.
Yeah, right? Because the narrative then, and what was said at the time, there were too many black and brown people that were entering the UK. That was being said in this. In fact, even when the Windrush the Windrush came in 48, they stayed offshore for a while before they were actually allowed to land, so to speak, to disembark. So that was the utterance. Too many black and brown people are entering in the UK. And we know when we say the black and brown people, it's the black people that are particularly concerned. I'm using the word black selectively to make a point. So policies were brought in, and also it was said that if you had parent or grandparent from the UK, then the rules will not be as strict. I'm paraphrasing. But we know what that meant. What that meant actually, that if you're white, so you're white Australian, white Canadian, New Zealander, etc., and so-called white South African, then the rules won't be as strict because you've got that lineage. What it meant and still mean is if you're black, so from the Commonwealth, so the black Commonwealth, then it'll be a lot more difficult for you. The Nigerian, the Barbadians, the Jamaicans, etc., etc. Consequently, we had the impacts over the years. From 70 all the way, starting from the 60s really, all the way through.
Do you think it's ever going to get easier? Just a straightforward question. Like, do you think it will get easier?
It will get easier.
If.
But it will get easier. However, everything is relative. Right? It's just like we say, a lot of times you will hear when you talk about poverty in the UK, you'll hear utterances like, oh, back then we are like better off now than we were in the 1960s. If you're going to compare the 1960s, for me, compare the 1960s for yourself as well. We're not in the 1960s anymore, right? Then don't tell me we've got more mobile phone, got satellite. That's an intellectually stunted argument. And I don't subscribe to that. So yes, it will get better, but relatively where we should be, right, in comparison to other groups, and we aren't there. And in many cases, I think we have regressed because at least, when we were on the plantation, we did actually know that we were enslaved. But to a great extent now, we are enslaved in many cases, right? I know there will be many out there said, oh, we're not on the plantation, we're not enslaved anymore. What I'm saying to make a point here. We were very much aware of exactly what was occurring there. And in many cases, right, a lot of us have gone docile. We have gotten comfortable, and the Stockholm Syndrome has kicked into such an extent that I know some of us has progressed.
Yeah. It's
somewhat.
Like we're walking like zombies.
Exactly. And the Stockholm Syndrome is that advanced that to some extent in many cases we're assuming, because we come so pally and friendly with the abuser, we are assuming that the abuser is our savior.
With the oppressor.
Just a second, please.
Yes, sure, go on.
A few important points was made. You asked about the deceased case, death certificate or birth certificate for, as Roland explained, some family, a member of the family like to be the lawyer who controls everything in there, hang on to death certificate and this and all of those things. Wherever era the individual died, the local registry office will have record of his death. So you go to the local registry office, tell them the name, and if you know the date of birth, then you can get it. Also, for those that's looking to get documentation to prove your case, there's a thing called the Data Subject Access Request called DSAR, which 28 days. So for argument's sake, suppose I want medical records. I phone up the hospital and I says, hello, could I have the exact phone number and the exact postcode and address of who do I send a DSA or a Data Subject Access Request to, and they will give you. You don't just phone them up and
say it again, Tony.
Data Access Subject Request called DSAR. DASAR. And by law, they have 28 days to apply to you within 28 days. So when you apply for it that way, you should get it back. So you don't say, if it's all for argument's sake, the hospital up the road or any hospital. You don't just write that hospital. You phone them up first and you ask them, tell me the exact telephone number and address of where one make a DSR, a data subject access request. And also another way of getting documents, you go via the Freedom of Information Act, where a solicitor or a third party can make that in behalf of you. But the DSR, you can make it yourself to get your own personal records. If you want to get it about someone else, you have to go by the Freedom of Information Act. Okay?
Yeah, thank you. That's a lot of information to know as well. And is that information within the booklet? Again, it is, yeah?
So there's one other thing.
Go ahead.
I was mentioning about the pages of the application form. Primary claimant, 44 pages.
Yeah,
Close relative application form, thank God it's 25 pages. Deceased application form, 46 pages. Now, we are the only one where you bomb blast us with so much pages asking all kind of uncivilized questions that open up wounds that you have closed the door to for those who came in the days. No blacks, no dogs, no Irish for rooms and that, and go through a lot of racist thing. We closed those doors, and these questions on the form open up, like Roland said, the first application form. And it's for people like Roland and my daughter and other members of the community who go to the House of Commons and debate with these people. Tell the Home Office, and the Home Office has been making amendment. It's not
what to lessen the application, or
give it like more room, like Roland was explaining about in-laws can't get
grandchildren.
But no, your grandchildren can.
Grandchildren.
But your nephews, they haven't done nothing for the nephews. No, my nephew went through a lot of things when they were deporting me, and he can't get compensation. That part of it, they need to make amendment for those. Or they need also to make amendment like, I've got two brothers. If they were alive now, they'd be entitled to get compensation. They were alive when I went through the thing. One died January this year, and one died March last year. So, cannot a deceased application be made on their form by either one of their children? Says, well, my daddy was alive, you'd have given him, because you paid my aunties. So this is a case that I'm talking to the Home Office at the moment to bring changes to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, that's one we're looking into as well, because as he said, if his brother was alive, then he would have been able to submit a close family member claim. However, because he passed, he cannot submit that close family member
even if
claim.
the child is alive, his child will cut.
So it's time to reason that the close family member claims should not expire, so to speak, at the point that that close family member passed. I believe that the next of kin had said close family member should be able to make a claim, like a deceased estate claim, but in this case it will be a close family member claim. Because, I did mention to you about those that were born in the UK earlier. I mentioned to you those that were born in the UK and were exiled from the UK for whatever reason. Before the 24th of August last year, 24th of October last year, there was no category in the scheme for them. So I raised it with the Home Office a couple of years, just over 2 years ago.
That's great.
And they said there were only a few individuals, so that's when I started giving them numbers and let them know where I grew up in Jamaica. There were quite a number, and I'm coming across quite a number of individuals outside the UK that their impact is similar as mine, mirror my situation. Born here, had issues returning, however, no category in the scheme for them. But there was a judicial review. I don't think it was just down to me and others that brought that issue to the fore. There was a judicial review around about September last year, and just about when it should go to court, at some point, the Home Office stepped back and didn't follow through, and then a few weeks later, they brought about that change to the scheme and brought in that category that you don't need to have lived continuously in the UK if you were born here. to submit an application. And I had a number of applications that I submitted, even though there was no category in the scheme. And then the task force wrote to me and said, we will continue processing.
Okay.
Yeah, processing. Yeah,
Listen, right, we've got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You will come back again.
Yeah.
But for the last 5 minutes, I'm going to ask you a throwaway question. If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be and why? Okay, if you can't think that, let me ask Tony. Tony, if you could change one thing, one.
Thing?
Yeah, and why?
And I'll tell you what.
So you each got 2.5 minutes.
Make it easier for the applicants who's applying for windrush compensation to get their money, because the government gave them 500 million. In the House of Commons last week, they said this: we've spent 75 million. So that leaves, the math say, 425 million is still left. Fill out your application and come and collect your money.
Okay, thank you.
Right. This is the change I would like.
Okay.
On the 20th of this month, next week, Wednesday, we will be in the House of Commons from 5 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
The change in the world I would like is as many people of the Windrush generation and those that are aligned with the Windrush generation and their descendants to be in the House of Commons from 5 to 8 p.m. in Committee Room 5. The campaign continue.
Room 5.
Committee Room 5 in the House of Commons. Next week, Wednesday, from 5
Wednesday from 5
to 8 p.m. So may I give out my telephone number in?
Yeah, sure. And
so
website and everything, yeah.
Telephone number is 07 999 178 111. That's 07 999 178 111. Or if you Google the Windrush Manifesto, that should come up somewhere near the top. The Windrush Manifesto or the Windrush Rally, House of Commons, it should come somewhere near the top and on an Eventbrite page. Just the Eventbrite. Click the Eventbrite page and you will see the
right,
info.
you need a ticket for this.
Alternatively, Google my name, Roland Houslin, Roland.
I'll Google your name.
HousLin.
So you need a ticket for this place. You need a ticket for the
ticket. It's free ticket. Just go to Eventbrite and get your free ticket.
The 20th, you said, isn't
20th, 20, next week, Wednesday of next week.
Lovely.
From 5 to 8 p.m. House of Commons, or some say in the House of Conman.
That's a different story. What I want to know is, will you come back again? Because there's more to. That was just like touching the surface.
I'll come, and I can come in periodically. The other things I needed to speak about, but like some changes that were made 29th of December last year. Change was made for pension, national insurance contribution, and we're campaigning for other changes as well. So I'll keep you posted. I'll pop up in,
that would be lovely if you
and
could.
Quickly, second and last. 2 minutes. Second and last. 2 minutes is plenty. Second and last Sunday of each month, from 2 to 4 p.m. we do the Windrush Compensation Scheme Sunday Chat, where we discuss the Windrush Compensation Scheme, the different categories, different elements, status, etc., etc. We discuss the Windrush Compensation Scheme and the Windrush Compensation Scheme only. If you would Google the Windrush Compensation Scheme, you should be familiar with that term by now, the Windrush Compensation Scheme. Then you follow those words with only 2 words, Sunday and chat, CHAT. Again, it should come up somewhere near the top, and Eventbrite, and all the relevant information is there. It's a Zoom meeting. All the Zoom credentials are there. Alternatively, 07 999 178 111. If you are outside the UK, we are on WhatsApp. Drop the 0 +44 7 999 178 111 for the chat or anything Windrush.
Thank you so much. And now you've got 1 minute, Tony.
Yes, what I'd like to say, don't forget Radioland. There's £425 million of compensation still yet not being claimed. Fill out your application. Let the Home Office tell you that you're not entitled, or say you're entitled and will get paid. Don't rule yourself out. Fill it out, send it in. You never know what the answer will be.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming in and sharing your journey with me today. Thank you. And that's it. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, you need pictures. Hold on.